You guys have asked for it, so I'm finally gonna do it, but I'm not really sure what I'm doing, so bear with me. Hey everyone, my name is Amanda, and I'm the Fun Size Reader, and today I'm gonna give you a tour of my bookshelves. Not sure why you guys want to know this information, but apparently you do. So I'm gonna show you everything that I have on my shelves, how I have it organized. You get to see my book ladder. I don't know if a lot of you on YouTube actually know that I have a ladder for my bookshelves. So I'll show you all of that right now. I'm doing this now because I'm about to have a big Christmas tree right here, and that stops the view of a lot of my shelves. That's why I'm doing this now, so I can show you. So you can see that like they're partly decorated, but not like fully. I'm not finished yet. These are my shelves. There are 3 of them. I live in California, so they're very, I mean, I'm short, but like they're very tall, and they're completely bolted into the walls because we have earthquakes here. So we have to make sure that these do not come crashing down over my whole house. So these are them. I also have my ladder, which a lot of you have seen on Instagram. I haven't posted a picture of my shelves actually in a pretty long time, but I love my ladder. It does not roll. I know that's like the dream, right? Is to be Belle on the rolling ladder, like going across the bookshelves in the movie, but mine does not roll. I have to pick it up and move it, but I still love it because I can't reach past here. So I have a whole like set of books that I can't reach anywhere. We're gonna start on this end and then I will move the ladder over that way. So I've actually been contemplating changing things around on my bookshelves recently because so these are full. There may be like tiny little bits of space, but based on the organization and based on like how shoved things are, like they're full. So I actually just bought a second set of shelves. They're not these ones, they're not quite as big as these ones, but they are in my office and they are not full. So I'm thinking about kind of demoting some things and putting them on those shelves to fill those up and make those look like actual bookshelves, not just empty shelves. And also because like my reading taste has changed a lot over the past year, 2 years. And so there's like sections that I haven't really touched in a while that I just don't think deserve to be on the bookshelves. Not that books don't deserve to be on bookshelves, but like, you guys know what I mean. We are gonna start up top here. All the way up here, basically to this whole like 2 shelves right here. This is my contemporary fiction section. You can see I do not read a lot of it. It is not that much. I have read a decent number of these books, but I have not read all of them. A lot of these are like my maybe one day I'll get to them. A lot of them honestly could be offloaded because my reading tastes have changed so much that I just don't find myself enjoying them anymore. And I don't think, me personally, I don't think it's fair to the author to give a bad review if I know that it's a book that is not for me anymore. I don't know. They're still here, but like, I don't know what's gonna happen with them. I do have some of one of my favorite series ever. I'm actually only on book 5 though, because they take me so long to read and they make me so ridiculously emotional that I can't read them very often, and that's the Outlander series. I started reading on the paperbacks, and when we got the new shelves, my husband was like, you need to get the hardbacks because the paperbacks look like trash on the shelves. I've been slowly accumulating those. I actually have signed copies too. So like this is signed right there. I got it on Black Friday and I was really excited about it. So I actually have not read this copy, but it is a signed copy. And then I do have 2 copies of her latest one, which obviously I'm on book 5, so I haven't gotten there. So I actually have 2 copies of her most recent one because my husband bought me one for Christmas last year. And then we went back into Barnes & Noble like a week later and saw that they had signed copies, which they didn't have when he bought the first one. So now I have two because I can't get rid of them because I'm a sentimental person like that. Here is all of the contemporary fiction. There are some like romances mixed in here. Like I have some Catherine Center books in here, but a lot of hers I got from Book of the Month, so they're in a different section. So I need to thin this out. And this is what might be demoted, but I'm not sure yet. Then behind Lumiere is my historical fiction section. I have not read a historical fiction book in a while. And I think I was so gung-ho about them for a long time. And then I started to feel like they were all about the same thing. Like there was just so many World War II historical fiction, and they're beautiful and I love them. But I felt like it was too much of the same thing. So I really stopped reading them. But there's quite a few on here that I've accumulated that are not about World War II. I haven't gotten there yet. Like I haven't been brought to read them. I don't want to cry. I don't want to feel sad. So that's where this section lives. Then at the end of this section, behind Charlie Brown, is the Star Wars section. And these are mostly my husband's books. He does not have very many, but he does get a spot on the front shelves because he bought them. So he can have a spot. This next shelf actually got like severely cut out recently. I gave a ton of the books to my sister. She's a big mystery thriller, like suspense reader. And now that I'm a mom, I have not been as much. A lot of the topics in those books just have been like too much for me to handle. I had a ton of unread books, and a couple months ago I went through it and I was like, take what you want. And I basically took everything out that I was not going to read because, again, I don't want to give an author a bad review if I know the book's not for me, and I gave them all to her. So this is cut down, but I do have some that I still like obviously I have my Stephen Kings, I have some Lucy Foley, I have Samantha Downing, who I love. I will read her books still. I love her books. And then a couple others, but very small thriller section. And then this is where Cogsworth lives. He stays here. And Lumiere needs to be put back. Then down below here is kind of a little bit of a continuation of the thriller shelf. I just didn't want to really open shelf here. But I have my Riley Sager, my Danielle Trussoni, and all of my Witcher books, which we've started to read. There's been a lot of controversy. I know, I'm sure some of you saw my Instagram story that I was devastated when Henry Cavill made his little announcement, but we're still trying to read the Witcher books. Slowly but surely, we're getting through them. Then at the very bottom is the overflow from my YA section, which originally started as the whole center was YA fantasy. And it got to be too much, and so it has overflown onto the bottom here and to the top of the third one. I alphabetize all of my books. That's just the way that I put them in order. I do not do colors. I do not do anything like that, because to me, the color shelves are beautiful. The rainbow shelves are absolutely gorgeous, but I get so many requests from you guys for specific books or specific tropes, and I need to be able to find the book quickly, and I know where my sections are on my shelf, so everything is out in alphabetical order. So down there where the overflow shelf was, that is the start of the alphabet for the YA fantasy section. So it starts down there, and then it goes all the way up there. All the way up there. And then it's just literally alphabetical order all the way down. And for this, it's YA, sci-fi, fantasy, anything that is not of this world. It's YA is all in this section. There are a lot of series that I've finished, a lot of books that I've finished. There are a lot that are unfinished. And this has been a big struggle for me too, because I feel like there's so many that I want to read. But again, my taste as a reader may have shifted, but it doesn't mean they're bad books. I just need to get into the mindset of going to read them again. I've also been trying to read a lot of indie books, and so that leaves unread books on my shelf. So then we go to the third section. As all of you can see all the way up there, my Crave books are up there because Tracy Wolf is the end of the alphabet. So every time I need one of those for a video, I have to climb up to go get them. But those are up there. And then starts my book of the month books. These ones frustrate me because a lot of them, like I talked about in my book of the month video, a lot of them are not matching the series and they're not in the right section because they're big hardbacks. So they all look good up there together. I had to like stack them funky because I just didn't have enough room. I didn't have my other shelves yet. They're all mixed matched. It's one of the things that drives me crazy because they're not in the right section. Like they're all in the book of the month section, but romances are mixed in with thrillers, are mixed in with YA, are mixed in with contemporary. And it just like, I find that I don't recommend a lot of those books that I got from book of the month because they're not in the right section. Because when somebody asks me for something, I go to the section and I go look for specific things and I forget that they're all mixed in there. So I need to figure out what to do about that. I need to figure out if I'm going to suck it up and like have my romance shelves not look good because they've got hard covers mixed in, but oh, that would grate on my nerves. These are actually the book of the month romances that I have. They made it to the romance shelf and I did that on purpose because I get so many romance requests that I was like, I need to remember which ones that I got that were romances and not everything else. So I did separate those ones out. They're all here. And then I have 2 whole shelves of romances and rom-coms. These shelves are full. Like they're full. I don't have any space left for romances and rom-coms. And it's stressing me out because I love to buy these books because like the paperbacks, I read them so easily. Like these ones, all the tiny little romance ones. And so it's stressing me out that I don't have room for these. All in alphabetical order. This is where they live. And they live with Mrs. Potts and Chip. So then underneath my romance shelves are the shelves that you guys are used to seeing because I literally sit right here. And that's where I film my videos, is right here. So you guys are used to seeing my adult fantasy shelves. This is just anything that I have that can be classified as adult, but is not rom-com. Anything that is fantasy, sci-fi, but is adult books, that's on these 2 shelves. So I've got all my Zodiac Academies. I've got my adult Sarah J. Maas's, okay? I'm sure I've gotten a lot of questions, and I'm sure you've seen that I have Court of Silver Flames separate from the rest of my Sarah J. Maas books, which are right here. Because I have the original covers because I've been reading them since this one was released. I got this like a month after it was published. I have all the original covers. They were released as YA. They are in my YA section, even though I know they should not be YA. Not some of the leader ones, at least. They are here, and the adult versions are on the adult shelves. So then all the way at the bottom is my YA contemporary romance shelf. So it bleeds over a little bit on the adult fantasy, which is why I need to have room. I need to make room on these shelves because I'm reading more of this and less of this. So I need to adjust some things. This is my contemporary YA romances, and I have read most of them, not all of them, but most of them. And I love them. They like hold a special place in my heart. And sometimes though, I feel like I don't jump into these as much as I used to, and so I've been hesitant to read some, and I feel like I need to get back into them. They're more of like a spring summer vibe for me though. Like we're not in this time. Like this is not the time for these books. That is also kind of why they live on the bottom shelf, is because they are specifically in my head seasonal versus others that I read like all the time. Then I have my book cart, which lives next to my bookshelves. And this was meant to be like a more specified TBR. Like I was meant to use this as what I was gonna prioritize for reading and stuff like that. No, it just has turned into storage. Here's a bunch of books that like I have not read that I need to go through because they don't fit here. And then these are all baby books that live in here so I can switch them out for my kid who loves to read, funnily enough, and eat the books, which I don't do, but she does. All of her books live down here, and they take up part of my bookshelf, but it's fine because I'm raising a reader. All of these that are chilling in here that I have not put on the shelves, and these that I couldn't fit in here because there's not enough room. That's it. That is everything that's on my shelves. That's explained where they are and how I organize them. There's so much on here that I am going to do another video. So if you want to see this one, make sure to click subscribe and click the little notifications so you get notified. But I am planning on doing a physical TBR count because I need to clear these. I have to clear them. I do not understand how some people just read books, love books, and then just get rid of them, because I have to keep them. But if I don't love something, I'm not as, willing to keep it. And there's so many things on here that I haven't read that are just taking up space. I need to determine if I love them and want to keep them or if I don't. That's going to be the goal. I'm going to try to count everything that I have and see if I can shrink that number. I hope that's what you guys wanted. I know, like I said in the beginning, I've gotten a lot of requests for this video specifically, and I hope that's what you wanted. If it wasn't, if there's more information that you want to know, let me know. Send me a message, leave me a comment, whatever. But these are my shelves. Thanks for coming today. Don't forget, you can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at The Fun Size Reader. See you guys next time.